Welcome back to the Graceful 40s Wellness channel. My name is Brandy and I'm excited to be with you here again. If you are new to the channel, I'm excited to be here with you if you are returning to the channel, and if you're new, welcome and thank you for stopping by. You are welcome here. And I have been in a life season of realizing some really important things over the last, several months. And oddly enough, I was just watching a video about a woman who was sharing her journey into taking an Esther year, and it was so inspirational and really hit home with some areas of personal practice and development I feel called to. I feel like God is calling me to build in this way. And it was like the confirmation or the clarity that I was feeling but not able to find something that really encapsulated what I understood but couldn't find the words for. So I'm going to be taking an Esther year myself, and I wanted to share like the start of my Esther year, what my focus is for my Esther year, like what practically speaking am I going to be doing to have said Esther year, because I get the concept in the Bible. There's this beautiful story of Esther, who is of a Jewish heritage, marries the king, and in order to be married to the king, Esther undergoes a year of beauty treatments, and I believe there's probably like etiquette training in order to be a queen, all of those things. And also Esther has sound counsel from her uncle Mordecai. Uncle Mordecai is a man, a man, and I think that's powerful. So some of the things that stood out, and I'm going to tell you what I'm practically going to do, but I just want to share what stood out to me, because I think we can all read Esther and understand the chapter very differently depending on what we're currently experiencing in our historical lens too. So like whatever's current, but also what we understand from our own experiences and history and meaning making and all that. So as a mental health therapist, I find reading the Bible to be amazing because we're always able to learn more. Every time we read it again, we learn something new. So the Bible is amazing, and God designed it so it has this feature of eternal wisdom. There's no person who can read the Bible and say they've mastered it, in my opinion. But getting back to what stands out for me specifically in the story of Esther is that Esther is a woman who didn't exactly have, from what I understand, have a lot of people in her life to really champion for her, but she had a few people that were really significant. She had, I believe, her aunt. I can't remember. I'll put it in the description because I need to look up her name again. But she had an aunt that she was really close to, or like a family friend person, woman. I have to look it up because I've read the story, but I'm blanking on the name or like the exact context of the relationship. But she also has her uncle Mordecai. So she has two prominent figures in her life. She doesn't have like a whole lot of community. She doesn't have like an endless, community backing that are all focused on like supporting Esther or walking side by side with her. So I think one thing that the Esther chapter really brings up is that we may not always have tons of people in community with us, but we hopefully will be blessed with just a couple people that carry us through difficult seasons and seasons of joy as well. So that stood out to me very specifically as far as what may be important about what the chapter of Esther is really maybe showcasing to me at this time. So also, Esther has this wise counsel from her uncle Mordecai about, following God, being obedient to God. And that specifically stands out because Esther has a healthy male influence also tied to God's will. And that is very powerful. And it's platonic, it's a familial relationship. So a lot of folks will listen to Esther's or read Esther's chapter, however you want to get down, because you can listen to Audible about the Bible, I'm sure. Or there's lots of apps that have the Bible being read to you. But Uncle Mordecai is essentially a healthy relationship that isn't centered on marriage. It's a relationship that is Christ, relative to like relationship with Christ. So I think that also stands out to me in a very specific way of maybe building on relationships that are platonic and healthy with men that aren't around dating, because I'm single, but I'm not necessarily interested in dating right now. I am interested in just healthy platonic relationships with men, because that, in my opinion, is going to be very essential to healing some dynamics that have come to my attention. I'll put it like that. So I also feel like the story of Esther also speaks to like beauty treatments and being in a place of preparing and receiving and taking the time to pour into self, or being in practice of receiving. So like Esther's getting a year of beauty treatments in the king's harem, which means there's probably a lot of handmaids, or I don't know the right term, but like folks who work for the king who are facilitating some of these rituals and beauty treatments, or I guess beauty treatments more than rituals, because ritual sounds like more new agey in terminology, but like basically to give the beauty treatments to Esther. So some of them may or were likely provided by the king's staff. Like I'm sure that's a factor. And that doesn't translate as much to life today. So a lot of times when I hear folks talking about taking their Esther year, we're talking about doing these things ourselves, because we don't live in a palace, so we have to apply some practicality to taking an Esther year. Like, what can we do where it's practical for modern day? Because if I want to have like the I live in the palace treatment, I would have to live in a palace. And I can be in a palace in a state of mind, certainly, but realistically, I am going to be the person in charge of what I do and what I don't do as far as beauty treatments in my daily practice, weekly practice, monthly practice, and for the 12 months that I plan to just give myself this space. So that means I want to be realistic in what fits into my Esther year, because this is a opportunity to practice more consistency in my self-care, and self-care in a way that helps me work through some healing elements of what it means in this season of my life to be obedient to God, to be a woman of God as well. So simultaneously, both of those things. And to really trust God, to really continue my practice of trusting God and waiting on God and just being at ease within God. Like God's got me, so I don't have to be stressed and worried. I don't have to do it all. I can be at ease, okay? So bringing myself into a place of receiving, but also pouring into, if that makes sense. So looking at Esther, the story of Esther, we've got the self-care for a year. We've got the relationship, healthy platonic relationship with men of God. We've got a small community is maybe better and more emotionally sound than having everybody be our friend, because everybody's not going to go with us on the journeys that we go on. We have normally a select few, in fact, and that's okay. It's okay. So being at ease and at peace, I don't need everyone to be on my team. I don't need everyone to be in my community, frankly. As an introvert, I prefer small amounts of people in my life. So these are the things that stand out about like the story of Esther. There was one other thought. Oh, okay. The other thought was Esther gets married to King Xerxes, I believe. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it's King Xerxes. So she gets married. She's chosen after her year of treatments. And what are my thoughts, or what do I connect with as far as marriage? So as a Christian woman, and I grew up in the faith kind of off and on, depending on which parent and which household I was in. And in my adult life, I kind of was in and out. And then the last year or two, I got really serious about being of faith and really committing my life to God. And I'm happy. I've never been more sound or more secure, but there's still work to do as I am human. So what I was thinking about as far as marriage is I do desire to remarry and to have a Christ-centered marriage. If it is to be, I will be happy with that. But if it's not to be, then I'm also okay with that. Fortune was just sitting with me, so now I can scoot up a little bit. So it would be nice to be married, but I also am not tied to marriage per se as well. So I'm like right in the middle of like give myself the time to see where I'm at and go through this process and then check back in. But my desire currently and in general is to be married again. So now I'm going to share my Esther year focus points and practices with you. And I'm looking all around because I'm getting a call. So I think I'm going to grab this call because it's an important call. And then I will come back and share the Esther year focal points of like what I'm practically doing and how I'm going to build this thing out. Okay, be right back. Okay, I am back from my phone call and I am here to tell you part 2. So what am I prioritizing in my Esther year? And I think these are things that I had already been thinking about, but I'm wanting to make a stronger commitment to. So some of this is self-care, some of this is like beauty treatments and like presentation, and some of this is about like healing work, mindset work, exposure therapy kind of stuff. So I have 7 areas of focus, and some of these things are just very practical, straightforward. I will do them, or I don't do them, or I improve the amount of time I do the thing. So the first thing is I want to practice wearing light makeup. So right now I'm wearing light makeup in my mind, and I don't know, everyone's different, but this is just a little something. Like I'm not going and doing anything extreme. It's not like a evening event makeup or anything like that. Like if I'm going out to see a concert or something, it might look a little different, but just gentle, basic 5-minute face makeup, because I normally don't wear makeup. I normally just wear glasses and a little lipstick. But I want to try to make that 5 minutes to just work on my appearance, because I feel pretty when I wear makeup. I feel pretty-ish when I don't wear makeup, but I think there's something to be said for like putting the effort in. So I want to just, sharpen my appearance a little bit and take the time on my appearance, because it's self-care for me. Everyone can pick their own things here, but these are things that count as like beauty treatment and like getting into habits that can be valuable for oneself and like perception of self. So when I put on makeup, it's good because I spend time pouring into myself, and then I feel pretty, so that's good too. But I also like my face without makeup. I just don't normally take the time, so that's something I enjoy. I like generally just having lipstick on, and without glasses is fine too. All right, so item number one for me, I'm gonna be trying to work on wearing a 5-minute face, light makeup, nothing too busy, but just a little something that gives me that sense of I applied a little bit of effort on myself today. Also, I would say item number two, to increase the rate of how often I'm wearing dresses. It has been fall and winter for the last 6 months, so we're finally going into spring, and that's usually when I wear dresses anyway. But I'd love to be in like a 4 days a week dress rotation, and better yet, jumping back to the makeup, I want to do makeup 4 or 5 times a week. So 4 times a week I want to be able to do these things that are more beauty or presentation, beauty treatment related. So wearing a dress 4 times, what I'm wearing right now is a dress. Wearing dresses because I like the way I move in dresses. I feel more feminine in dresses. Because it's a dress, my physical movement is more graceful because I'm wearing a dress. When I wear pants, I feel a little bit more, I don't know, rough and tumble in like my mannerisms. So like my poise is different when I'm wearing a dress versus when I'm not. So I want to be able to do my makeup, 5-minute face at least 4 times a week. I want to wear dresses at least 4 times a week. I won't say I'm going to be a dress wearing person every single day. I could maybe get there from the 4 times a week, but I have been on the hunt to make sure I have good transitional season dresses as well, because I don't have ones that really make me feel like myself. So some of the dresses, when they're more modest, are frumpy on my body type. So I've been trying to find dresses that don't make me look like I'm wearing a potato sack, because I don't want to wear a potato sack. I still want to feel like I'm modest, but also wearing clothes that feel like they reflect my personality and style. So wearing dresses. Also weekly, I want to be working on my hair and nails, and I normally will polish my nails, but I think I'm going to just work on doing my nails every week. But also, if I don't polish them, to at least do a coat of clear paint on them, because that is good too, just to take the time, right? So doing my nails once a week, and also doing my hair at least once a week ideally. So I am doing a 1 inch a month hair growth challenge, and so that means I'm doing my hair once a week anyway. And so I've had to figure out a very simple wash day natural hair routine. So wash day, try and get that under an hour or 2 depending on how much time I have. Also to prep my hair for the week in a style that feels nice, either cute or like romantic. So this is my play on romantic hair. So like I have a little bun, it's a textured bun, and I just like wore my hair in like pigtails, which is the other style option to just like make this work and grow my hair out, protect the style, and all those things. So this is going to be probably a prominent style other than like the 2 space buns style until my hair grows out, because right now I need to get a couple inches of growth. Like the bangs need to be down here. My hair needs to continue to grow for me to do other styles very quickly that just look how I want them to look. So we're here. So working on my hair every week, styling my hair in styles that feel like they accentuate my features and make me feel pretty, because I don't want to feel rigid. And when I pull my hair back in a straight bun, I feel rigid. So I'm just trying to think about how I feel when I present myself in different ways, and to lean on the feeling that feels feminine and open to receive, and also open to pour into myself and see myself in the way that I want to see myself. Ideally the way that God sees me. I'll never be able to match what God sees within me, but it's nice to get further along in my personal journey with that. Okay, so I'd love to be a person, here's item number 4, that does weekly body scrubs. I do weekly face scrubs, but I'd like to get back into body scrubs every week, and like weekly foot treatments, just getting like these things done. So these are like weekly items. Also, inversion therapy, which I do for my hair growth process, is also good for the body and the mind. So continuing that inversion therapy. So that's the 6th item. The 7th item, which is great, I think I only want to keep it at 7 because 7 is the number of completion, and also it's my favorite number. I was born on the 7th, and it has significance. So the 7th item is to work on my boundaries with men. So I think something in my life over the last 6 months or so, I've realized I need to work on my boundaries with people in my life. And I feel like I was aware that I had some mother wound healing, so I worked on a lot of boundaries that really encompass my relationships with women. But what I didn't quite know is that I may have a little bit of a father wound as well. So I need to work on my boundaries with men. I've definitely done tons of healing as a mental health therapist. I've spent some times in the chair, for therapy for self. But I think there's an issue that I didn't quite see before as far as like my boundaries with men being a little bit off kilter. So when I say men, I mean like everybody. So I want to focus on building out relationships where I'm gaining more wisdom on healthy platonic relationships with men with healthy Christ-centered boundaries. And so that's relationship, that is intention, and that is reflection, right? So we need wisdom, which means we have to reflect. Intention means that we are being diligent and discerning, and relationship means that we are practicing God's love as we interact with others. But like boundaries with men to me means like I have 2 boys, so boundaries with my sons, boundaries with male relatives, boundaries with strangers on the street, boundaries with men in the work setting. And it's not that I'm terrible with boundaries, but I just really want to dial in more, because I think that's what God is asking of me as the inspiration to do this Esther year has come forward. So these are the things I'm going to be working on. And what I want to do to really make this real is to do like a monthly check-in on my Esther year. So in the next month, I'll check in and say if I did my makeup 4 days out of the week. Did I wear dresses 4 days out of the week? Did I do my hair 4 times in the month? Did I do body scrub 4 times in the month? Did I do a foot treatment 4 times in the month? Did I do inversion therapy 4 times in the month? And did I produce some additional education around boundaries with men? Did I do some sort of intentional practice on boundaries with men? Did I reflect? Did I gain wisdom? Was I intentional? And am I being loving and centered in Christ in my relationships with men of all sorts? Strangers on the street, with my sons, my 2 kiddos, with family members who are male, the whole thing. So education is key. Continuing to expose myself to education, setting the intention, looking for places where I can practice and have exposure, but also reflection. Every month when I'm doing these videos, I'll have a chance to reflect. So this is like my way of doing the Esther year, where it's pretty comprehensive and practical. So it's not just Esther's story, it's my understanding of Esther's story at this specific juncture of my life, and also how am I implementing this in a realistic and practical way, because I personally do not enjoy always receiving or consuming content where it's just like ideas. I like to be able to think about what am I doing? Like, how am I implementing this in a practical way that would be sustainable and realistic? And this could just be like my mental health therapy, like lens of like supporting others. This is how I actually think about things as well. So I'm sure this video has been long enough, but I am super excited to take this journey. I invite you to take the journey if this inspires you. You can definitely comment on whatever stood out to you in today's video. What does the story of Esther bring up to you? What does it place on your heart? Here on the channel, it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to be human, and to just, support one another as we learn and be inspired by one another as we go. So I want to say thank you for your time. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Please be sure to check back in. I've got a couple other things that I'm working on the channel here. So there's the weight loss series, there's the nutrition series, there's the natural hair series, there's the skincare series, using natural ingredients, anti-aging focus for women over 40 and women younger. If you're into it, get into it. You're welcome here too. But Graceful 40s Wellness is really kind of focusing on these things, lifestyle and faith. And I'm just excited to share my journey. This is a great journey to take, but I don't always know what's going to be next, but I'm excited to do this, and I think it's the right thing. So the challenge is like showing up every month to do the video, but I think I have this clear, and I'm gonna be okay if I'm not perfect in this, but I will be working on this, and I invite you to take what works for you, and I'll look forward to catching the next videos. So I hope you're well, and may God bless you today. I'll see you next time. And another thing, okay, just playing. Actually, I'm heading out to the gym, but I wanted to just toss an honorable mention into my Esther fast year. I realize another part of what I really need to build a boundary around is my attention and focus. So I am going to be changing it up a little bit with how much time I let myself indulge in like YouTube. I'm not really a social media person anymore, but like I need to rein it in. So I'm gonna add social media, minimizing social media into my practice as honorable mention, because I still want to keep the main 7, but I also do need to have some accountability around social media time. And it's not like I'm on Instagram, couldn't be bothered, but I do love me some YouTube, so I have to create some boundaries around that. So for me, that means I can no longer use YouTube on my phone. I can no longer, I don't use any other social media on my phone, so that's not it. But like, if I want to use YouTube or if I want to watch YouTube, I have to be on my TV screen where it's a single focus activity, or where I'm on my laptop and it's a single focus activity. I can use my phone to listen to podcasts or music, but that's it. So I'm about to take all the apps off of my phone, including Amazon, because I've been shopping. So I am going to take all of the like hot ticket items off of my phone and just use my laptop to really curb the behavior of just having a little too much availability to be distracted, because I believe Esther wasn't just, in her year of preparation, like on social media, obviously, because the timeline, but I don't think whatever the equivalent would have been for back in the day that she was just doing that stuff. So I am motivated to be thinking along those lines more deeply. And yeah, that's everything I got. So I will catch you in the next video in a month where I update you on all of these things. All right, bye. May God bless you today.